Hello my friends, I am Mahdi and with you with another CSS course. In this session, I want to talk about CSS syntax and how to use CSS rules. So watch the rest of the video with me. If you remember, in the previous session, I wrote some CSS rules which style to paragraph. I wrote P, open curly brackets, closing curly brackets, and instead of them, I wrote some CSS rules. We call P selector. We have a lot of elements in web pages. Suppose we have 10 images or links on a page. And now we want to style the P element inside our web pages. So we have to use the CSS of those elements. Here, we wrote P means select P element and give them this style and center them, make them red and set the family font to Tahoma. So we call P selector. And text align center, color and font family are properties. Also center, red and Tahoma are values. After writing the properties in a colon and writing the value, we must put the semicolon. When we write the selector, we put the open and close curly brackets, and in the middle we write as many properties and values as we want. So the CSS syntax is first selector, the open and close curly brackets, and the middle we write the properties and value, and using semicolon we can separate it. We can write anything instead of P. We can write the anything instead of P selector. Suppose we have an image element on our web pages that we want to style. Instead of P, we write the name of the tag and we write img. In order to be able to use CSS codes in our web pages, we have three ways. The first is inline, the next is internal, and the third is external, which have difference. First, let's watch a video to understand better, then we enter the VS Code software to talk about this. Friends, we are in the second session and I created a text.html file and I wrote the basic HTML codes in it, and I also wrote the P paragraph and copied it 5 times. One method of styling is the inline method, where we write the style attribute inside the open P tag. You can see that as soon as I write st, it suggests a style. I press enter and we write the equal and double quotation in the middle the desired properties and values. For example, I write the text align equals center, color red. I set the font family to Tahoma. Now we are only gave these styles to the first P. If we want to give a style to the rest of the P, we have to write this repeated code again. We copy and give it to the next 5 elements. So for 5 P elements, we wrote this repeated style 5 times. You must have recognized that it's not a standard method because we are writing repeated code. Where is its use? When we want to temporarily style an element and see how it can be done with CSS rules, we use the inline method. The inline method is a method of styling a specific element. I return the code to the previous state, and now let's see how the internal method is. We enter the head elements and we write the style element. That is, we write the open and close style tag, and inside it we write the CSS codes. We write the selector P, open and close curly brackets, and inside it we write the properties and value. For example, I write text align center. When we write the text align, it displays the values it can take. Choose the center. Set the color blue. All of them become blue and all of them become center. For example, we give them font size 25 pixels and they are all bigger. This method called internal, and we can only use this method to style a specific page. That means if there are two HTML files in the same folder, even if we have a style in one file, it has no effect on the other file because the codes are specific to this page. The third method, which is external, is the most standard method and the best method of using CSS, and we can use it in several web pages to style it. Let's check how we can style it. We enter folder 2 and we created CSS files. I write the style.css. As you know, as I said, HTML tutorial, CSS files defines with the extension .css and the extension of HTML files is .html. Now we write the codes for styling in the style CSS files. For example, text align center. I set the color green and font size 25 pixels. We wrote CSS rules in CSS file, and now we enter HTML file to use these CSS rules. In order to be able to use the codes in an external way, in the head element we enter a tag called link. After rel stands for relation, we put it equal and double quotation to style sheet. It actually states what kind of relationship this link is with our page. Then we give it the page address with href. Friends, if you have a problem in the addressing, be sure to see HTML tutorial in the addressing section part 11. Now I will give a brief explanation what is the position of the style.css file compared to the CSS HTML file. They are in the same folder, folder 2. So we just need to write its name, and you will see that as soon as we write its name, the styles will be shown, and we enter the styles.css file and change the value. For example, I set the color to the blue. You will see the color paragraphs change to the blue or red. Write the text align to the right. All the paragraph will go to the right. As I said, external method can be used for several web pages to style them. I created another HTML file, index.html, and I wrote the 3 paragraph. Now I want to link to style.css files. Here I write the link rel equal style sheet href style.css. As soon as I link to the style.css files, you can see the changes. That means if we have another page and link to style.css, the same styles will be applied to the elements of this page. In the next session, I will talk about the types of selectors, ID selector, class selector, and element selector. If you like this video, please share it with those who are interested in learning web coding, and also support me by liking and commenting and subscribing to help my channel grow to be shown to more people. Have a nice